Okay, cool. Hello and welcome to the JW Fitness podcast. It's episode 3. I'm here joined with Lindsay. Hello.
How you doing, mate?
I'm all good. So today we're going to cover a lot of different topics. We're going to talk about PT life in general, life as a personal trainer, sports massage, as obviously you are qualified. So that'll be interesting to hear about that. And then also we'll talk about some compound lifts at the end. So we'll go on to them before signing off. That sound good?
Yeah, all good with me. Perfect.
Nice one. So I'll start off with just if you can just introduce yourself to the podcast. So who you are, what you do, and your achievements, experiences, and qualifications. Go for it, mate.
All right, perfect. So my name's Lindsay. I've been doing personal training now for nearly 2 years. Obviously, with the situation at the moment, coronavirus, it's not the best of the second year, but we have to do with what we've got. Anyway, so when I first started, done my personal training and fitness instructor course, level 2 and level 3. A few months later, then started to do my sports masseuse, level 3 sports massage course, which took my knowledge to the next level with the anatomy anyway. Along with that, done a studio cycling course and a few CPDs like circuit training and things like that. And that's been it. I've been on a few seminars in Marbella. I went last year. That was probably the best seminar I've been on so far. What an incredible experience. Learned so much by one of the best PT businesses in the world, Ultimate Performance. And yeah, the main thing is just trying to learn and help my clients out as much as possible.
Awesome. So, yeah. Awesome. Good stuff, mate. Sounds very good.
Not too bad.
I didn't realise you had a spin qualification. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So did you do that as well?
Yeah, I've done that my first year. It was literally just a day course. Went to London for the day. And we were about 5 hours on the spin bike. We took turns taking it and things like that. So it was a long day, but yeah, done it. Haven't done spin in a long time, but Jesus, that takes it out of you. That does take it out of you.
Yeah. Awesome, cool. So, but what we'll do is we'll chat about how we first met, actually. So, I believe we met through, a number of different occasions, I think. First of all, through football. I knew you through when you played for Fulbourn, and then you went on to Cambridge City, didn't you?
Yeah, went to Cambridge City, and that's when I actually started to play with you properly, weren't it?
Yeah. So I remember playing against you when I was at Witchford. That was a fun game. I remember that one really well. I don't know if you remember it.
Honestly, that is. Do you know what? That was the one thing when you mentioned that to me when we first properly met. I didn't actually remember that striker v defender and that.
Well, it was it was weird because I think it was something like we were both near the relegation zone or something like that.
Yeah.
And one of us had to win to stay up, or something like that.
That was in the A-League, weren't it? At the time, that was the A-League.
Yeah. It was the best league.
Because I remember being with Fulbourn, we started off at the bottom league, and we managed to work our way all the way to the top.
Yeah.
But that season, we just got destroyed.
Yeah. So did we, mate. So it came down to that game. If we'd won it, we would have stayed up. So it was kind of like, we need to win this. I remember I ended up scoring. I think it was. We drew in the end. I think it was like 3-3 or something.
That's mad. That's mad. That is.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. And then obviously we went on to Cambridge City, and then I didn't play there that long at all. But yeah, that's when I probably first met you.
I remember Cambridge City days. They were good. They were good days.
Yeah. Obviously, you were there a lot longer than me. You were doing that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when I actually started there. I was there for I think around 2.5 years. Yeah, just as like the academy, it was quite decent to be fair. We trained like twice a week, and obviously I had training with Fulbourn as well at that time. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, good stuff. And then we also met through just kind of like friends of friends, really, didn't we? And then we went on to going to the gym and stuff, like pretty much every day.
I remember that first day we went to the gym. Grind. Wow, I remember getting a message being like, "Do you fancy a gym session?" I was like, "Yeah, go on then, why not?" We met up at, was it Abbey? Yeah, I'm sure it was Abbey. Yeah, Abbey Parkside swimming pool.
Oh, it could have been. Yeah, I don't know.
We met there.
Yeah,
and literally, I remember looking at you and I was like, "Wow, you've actually grown since the last week, so a few months." Until after football, and I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, good times. All right, so we'll get on to the actual topics today. So we'll chat about just kind of PT life. I've wanted to do a chat about personal training for ages on this, so it's good to have you on for this. We'll start off with the current situation, to be honest. How are you adapting? I mean, it's really hard to do. I mean, I saw that you're doing loads of live workouts, which look great. So tell us a bit more about that.
So basically, the month of lockdown, me and the person I'm working with under Fresco Fitness, Joe Fresco, we were actually supposed to be opening up an outdoor bootcamp location, where we were going to invest a lot of equipment, get like a proper outgoing bootcamp for transformations and things like this. Obviously, due to lockdown happening, that just couldn't happen. The councils that we got in contact with was like, sorry, not at the moment. So hopefully we can try and get that up and running after lockdown. Me and Joe spoke a few days a week as soon as lockdown happened, sort of like what's our next steps. We put a few plans and programs into place that we sent to our clients for absolutely free. And then he came up with the idea of let's do 3 live workouts, and I was like, perfect. We got Facebook up and running. We said, what should we do? I said, well, when I do it, I'll do full body workouts, try and burn as much body fat, try and get the person as strong as possible with minimum equipment, and basically hit the whole body as well as torching body fat, getting stronger and fitter, and just trying to get them to do something, if that makes sense, for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not going too bad. Live workouts depend on the time of day, because I've basically got a new job, just working at the co-op in a warehouse just to keep me busy and get me out of the house. It's literally, the timings are a bit different. Sometimes it's 1 p.m, 3 p.m, 5 p.m. Sometimes we only get 2 people, sometimes we get 10 to 15. But then there's people that do it after work in their own time. So it's good because we're keeping around 15 to 20 people active at least. Yeah,
that's still really good. That's really good, mate. It's good to keep people motivated and everything. I mean, even as a trainer, I'm struggling to kind of get myself motivated, to be honest. So it's kind of like, I do respect that. It's really good.
I definitely agree with you. The first 2 weeks of lockdown, I'll be honest, just before lockdown happened, I started my 12-week plan like I do every year. Done the first 2 weeks, perfect, great, looking forward to it. Monday starts, the gym shuts, lockdown happens.
Yeah.
Just my mind just went blank. I was unmotivated for about 2 weeks. I didn't even do a workout. My kid's side came out. I just sat in the bedroom playing Xbox and chilling out, which was not good, not productive. But I managed to get myself out of that little hole, per se. And yeah, it's because the training that I'm doing at the moment is not what I call training for myself. Like, this is sort of HIIT, but slow and controlled. I like lifting heavy and strong on compounds. We're trying to get just anyone and everyone to do the basics very, very well, if that makes sense. And then I'm still doing park sessions 3-4 times a week to sort of help towards football, so when the football season does start, which probably won't be this year, but just so I'm ready for it, basically.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed it's soon, mate. Because I want to get back in the gym, mate. I want to get back in the gym.
That first gym session, my god, I cannot wait to try it and do a pull-up again.
Yeah.
Literally, I know I'm not going to be racking up weight.
Do you know what? That was going to be one of my next questions, actually. What's the first thing you're going to do when you get back?
In the gym will be a full body workout, like always. I will have to obviously lower every single weight. So extra weight on pull-ups is not going to be extra weight on pull-ups. It will just be my body weight controlled. I will be going for heavy squats for as heavy as I possibly can with pull-ups, and then afterwards it will go straight into heavy deadlifts, which I cannot wait to just lift. Like, I know before the gym, before lockdown, I was on about 160 for reps. I don't think that's going to be happening now. It's probably going to be about 120, maybe 100. We'll have to wait and see. But it's literally a full body workout.
That's something I've been really struggling with, to be honest. Like, the thought of you have to regress. Like, I hate regressing. I know it's going to happen. It's inevitable, and it's going to be the same for everyone. But it's so frustrating, isn't it?
It is. It's the worst thing, because I like to always go forwards. I don't like going backwards. Like, I understand, like, now and then we have to take a deload week and things like this to help our body recover, stretch, mobilize, allow our body to rest. But that's still taking a step forwards. Where what's happening now is, especially if we are unmotivated, we're not being able to train how we like. When we next go back to that gym, no matter what level you're doing, what level you were at, you will not be at that level. Same with me. My weights will have to go down. I will maybe need longer rest. It's going to be difficult, but the thing is I think, like yourself, you cannot wait to get back to the gym. I am so excited to go back to the gym. Even though I know that first session is going to be the toughest one, I know that it's just going to then go on from being forwards and forwards and forwards,
exactly.
taking a step from that every single week and every session.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think it's going to be a really good day actually when it's the first one. Even though we will have to regress, it will be great to just kind of run over, grab that platform for me, and just get straight on
literally walk in that squat rack, walk on that deadlift bar, walk on the bench, whatever it is, just seeing that gym again.
Yeah, definitely, mate. All right, we'll go quickly back to just kind of PT life in general. As a job, I mean, I can think of a fair few. What would you say is your likes and dislikes for it? So,
for personal training.
Yeah. So, kind of just imagine that we're not in lockdown.
Okay.
And you're just in the gym. You're PTing. You're just getting in, cracked on with that. What is your likes and dislikes in that one?
My likes, the best thing about being a personal trainer or a sports coach, whatever you want to call yourself, is that you get to help someone with their problem. Whether that's fat loss or making themselves feel better or making their form better or maybe making them to actually be able to squat properly and do this and do that, being able to help someone's problem. So basically how I see us personal trainers and sports coaches is that we're like a problem solver. Those of us that really dedicate ourselves into this business and want to learn, seminars, coaching, certificates, and we're always learning to revise and learn. We do that to help our clients, not for money. We do it because we're very good at it, and this is what we love doing, if that makes sense. But the number one thing is definitely getting the client whatever their result is. Some of them, like I said, is fat loss, maybe getting bigger, sorting out their squat, maybe just feeling healthier, losing weight, whatever it is. That is probably the best thing. The worst thing for personal training is there's nothing that will ever change for this, is because the timings of our clients. Most of them have a normal life, which is obviously like 9 till 5, let's say. That's a normal life for normal people. So that means for us that are personal trainers is early mornings and late evenings. Which obviously means we then have a giant gap throughout the day, which sometimes we may go out for a meal with friends, sometimes we may go home and learn, and sometimes we get our own training in, and things like that. But that, I would personally say, is probably the worst thing. It's just the timings, because when you have a fair amount of clients, some of them do have days off, which makes it perfect for us, because you might be able to get 6 clients done in the morning, come back in the evening and do another 4 or 5, and in one day you've had 11 or 12 done. But then again, some people, like I said, that's the worst thing. It's just work related. It's early mornings, late evenings, which to be honest isn't that bad. It's just the annoying thing is it's getting from the house to the gym, then back home, and then going back out again. That's the only thing I'd probably say in my point of view that's the bad part of personal training. Unless you've got your own gym off home, then you're probably set.
I to be honest with you, I'd agree with that one. It is quite tricky to kind of have, obviously you have your work life in the mornings and evenings. It's quite tricky to be able to have a bit of a social life in between, or even just kind of like even get that rest time in, because
that's the thing is people don't realise that us that are personal trainers, as well as us doing maybe it's just 3 clients in the morning or 5, whatever it is, you do morning and evening for those clients, which could be 10-15 hour days. In between that, most of us probably get our own training in, whether that's at the gym, a jog, a park session, rowing, whatever that is. We still then train maybe an hour and a half. Then obviously we need to somehow, hopefully we're already planned for the day for food, so you're good and set for help, like keeping yourself healthy. But then people don't realise is that, like you said, socialising, that is probably another thing that is one of the hardest things about personal training. You've got so many friends that just work 9 till 5. That they always message you saying, come out for a drink or come out for a meal, let's just meet up to the park and play football, just to kick about, and you just can't. So it's sort of like, in that business, what you've got at that gym and who you know at the gym is you're socialising, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not really a massive party head as it is. Like, I've been out a fair bit before, but now I'd probably say I go out maybe once every 3 months. And in that night out, it's one of the best nights ever, because it's been a long time. I get to socialise. It's like what we wear for personal training, our gym clothes. It is normally baggy or comfortable fitting anyway. When I get a chance to dress up, whether that's a meal to a Nando's or a night out or a date, whatever it is, that's the best thing, is because I don't have to wear a suit to work. When I get a chance to dress up, whatever that occasion is, I just feel amazing in myself. It's one of the best feelings ever. Even if it's that one occasion in a month or one occasion in 3 months, when we get a chance to dress up just for a normal meal, it just that energy you have is unreal. Confidence you have as well.
Yeah, definitely. One last thing on the PT kind of front. Do you have any advice you can give to new PTs? So if there's any new PTs listening,
my advice to PTs is, if you're not actually dedicated to waking up early and doing late evenings and working your arse off for your clients, then maybe that job isn't for you. Honestly, people will be paying you, people will be working hard to pay you for you to do a job, and that job shouldn't be seen as half-assed. That should be you giving 100%. And if you're not willing to give 100%, then maybe look into something else. It might be sports masseuse. So I've done my sports massage course, which I know we'll get onto in a minute. Done it, my knowledge went amazing, but the massaging part of it isn't what I enjoy the most. The personal training is, if that makes sense. But number one rule is, if you really are dedicated, then actually put yourself into the job and learn and revise and do courses, read. Number one, books as well. Books, the knowledge you can get from books is unbelievable. It's a cheap source as well, if you can't afford the high-end courses. But just give yourself that actual dedication and hard work to helping your clients and yourself learn as much as you can and be the best you possibly can. That's all anyone can do. Definitely. That's literally it.
I think I touched on this last week on my last podcast. We just spoke about what's the best way of kind of improving your coaching, and it's 100% looking into research and like you said, books. But you never really. I don't think you're never a perfect coach, in my opinion. You never will be. Even if
the more you read, the more you revise, the more you go on courses and seminars, you actually realise that this industry, it's not just a tiny bit of knowledge. There is a ridiculous amount. Like last year, like I said, I went on one seminar, the UP seminar, Ultimate Performance Seminar. It was more of a training camp than us learning, but because I'm a personal trainer and I could see how basically I got treated like a personal trainer. I got treated like a client. They were the personal trainers for that weekend. I got to see a whole nother level of the best of the best. It was ridiculous. Like, it was expensive, yes, but then what I got to see and experience was just, it took, like I said, my step to another step above. And like I said, if you can't afford those expensive courses, you've got the books. 20 quid maybe for a book, for a good book, 30 quid, 40 quid, whatever it is. Work, save up a little bit. Instead of spending it on booze or a night out or clothes, you don't need clothes. As long as you're wearing day-to-day stuff and you feel comfortable, you don't need to be wearing Gucci and things like this. Spend that 50 quid in a book, read it once, read it twice, read it 3 times. Whatever you then read, try it on yourself. So if it's a book about deadlifting and squatting, it says more about how to try and get more depth or a perfect squat for your positioning. So you go to the gym and you try different foot positionings, toes out, feet in, out, whatever you want to call it. And just literally whatever you learn, make sure you try and put it into practice.
Definitely, mate. Good. Okay, cool. We'll go on to sports massage now. Kind of leading on to what we just talked about, really. First of all, what does the kind of course entail? So, obviously, you've done a level 3 in it, haven't you?
Just level 3.
Just tell us a bit about that and how that came around and stuff.
So the person I was working for before, when I first started, was someone called Joe Mitten under MitFit. I asked him what courses he'd recommend, and he recommended the sports massage level 3 course. So I had a look into it, and when I went to, I was like, you know what? Even if I don't use the sports massage or it doesn't appeal to me afterwards, I know I'm going to learn a hell of a lot. I went on that course. It was a 1-week course in London. First day there, I was nervous and scared because I was like, I've only just qualified for personal training. I've only been doing this for 2-3 months. And now I'm coming into this course where everyone in that course was mostly physios. A normal person couldn't do that course. You have to write a note basically saying why you want to do it. So this was, there's a few of us that are personal trainers, but most of them were physios. I went in there easily the dumbest person. Easily. Walked in, they were talking about muscles, bones, distance, everything. And I was literally just like, I've got a lot of work to do for this. I want to pass this. Day in, day out, I was still struggling to learn. But they gave you enough time to afterwards to then revise and everything like that and learn over your notes before your actual test. So it was a week going up to London. It was 6-day course. And every day we'd focus on a different part of the body or a different part of massage techniques, learning about icing, heating, recovery, warming up the body for a pre-warm-up massage, a post-cool-down massage, things like that really. But the main thing for that was anatomy. The number one thing, like I said, I went in there, I didn't really know much about muscles, bones, the origin of the surgeon for the muscles. That was the number one thing. Literally day in, day out afterwards, I bought revision cards. I literally went over them about an hour a day, every day till that practical and that theory. So basically at the end of that, you get 1 week to do the course. Afterwards, I think it was 2 months later, you had a theory and a practical. Everyone was nervous. Yeah. We all went in there now, you get to decide what you want to do for the so basically you have to bring in your subject to massage on. And they allowed you to pick a part and what the injury was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When we started, everyone was on legs. Everyone wanted to do quads and hamstrings. So then the instructor or the teacher of that day who was assessing us was like, all right, we're going to have to change everyone's because everyone's picking the same thing. I wanted to do quads. I think I got given shoulder and back, and that was the one thing I didn't want to do. One of the hardest things due to it's just so much that goes on in the upper body, the same as lower body. There's so much, but on the quads I just felt more comfortable at the time to work on. So anyway, we've done it. The assessor came to me first as well. I was right at the back, I was in the corner, and I was like, he won't come to me first. What happens, literally as soon as I get started, he comes to me. My heart was racing, but I managed to answer every question due to me doing and putting those hours of revising in. If I didn't do that, I would have been clueless. There's no way I would have passed.
Yeah.
After the practical, we then had a theory. The theory was about 45 minutes. The theory was different to what I expected. I revised what our tutor said. When we went into it, there was questions that were just completely different in my opinion. Still passed, but I feel like if the questions were different, I would have got a higher mark. Was it a multiple question one, or was it like a... Yes, multiple choice. But some of them you looked at and you were like, there could be two answers for that, and your head was just boggled. You're like, what one do I pick? So similar to the PT course then, in that regards. Similar to the PT course in that regards then. Yeah. Okay. And then as soon as I finished that, waited for my certificate to come in. As soon as I passed the course, I then started advertising free massages for half an hour, just to sort of get me feedback, get me views, get me a review as well on the website or the page that I was working for then. And then along with that, it's also experience. Doing about 10 hours to 20 hours a week for the first month for free. I managed to get a lot of experience in, so I managed to focus on the whole part of the bodies from different people. Some people just wanted a relaxing massage, which I can do. So supporting massage, people think it's very, very painful. It can be very, very painful depending on that person's situation, whether that's an injury or recovery or just massaging to loosen up a muscle, and things like that. But yeah, doing free things is a major, major thing for doing massaging and also personal training to get yourself a potential client. A lot of those people that I did massage then wanted a free PT session. I always give out a free PT session, so they can, if they're really, really intrigued and want to change whatever their problem is, like I said, whether it's a transformation, or just to be healthier in general, if that makes sense. And literally, as soon as you give out something for free, that person's then already half sold. Then it's just backing it up in that session, etc., etc.
Yeah. That sounds good, mate. That sounds really good. I wanted to just ask one more question on that, actually.
Yes.
You kind of touched on it just then. How have you been able to use that in your sessions? So have you been able to actually kind of put PT together with sports massage?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I would recommend, if you're really, really dedicated into personal training and wanting to learn as much as possible and be the best you possibly can, if you're training someone, let's just say a bench press, you're focusing on their chest, you need to know where the origin and insertion is for the muscle, if that makes sense. You need to know where the muscle is fully shortened and fully lengthened. Why? Because that's a great way of training someone in a compound movement, is making sure they get the full range of motion, their hand positioning, their arm positioning, their shoulder positioning is healthy and safe. But then it's also like doing a cable fly for, let's say, like where is that fully opened up for the chest? The hand has got to go out and up and back to fully open up the chest. To then really get a squeeze, you need to come all the way in to try and get the arm as close to the mid part of your chest as possible, if that makes sense. So some people don't see it. Some people don't see it like that. Some people just see it. Oh yeah, no, I know the chest fly works the chest. The main point of that chest fly is to open up that chest, lengthening it. If that makes sense. Yeah. Then when you're focused in a shortened position, you think, all right, how does that chest shorten? I need that fully shortened there. What exercises can I do for that? What positioning does it work? If that makes sense. And it's the same with posture. A lot of clients nowadays are rounded for shoulders, whether that's due to Xbox stress. A lot of people go through stress, and in that stress, what do? This here is a nice, comfortable position for us. We're closed in, we're protecting ourselves. A lot of women, only due to stress, what they go through on a day-to-day basis, especially through secondary school and things like that, I think women have it worse than men. But a lot of the people I've worked with them folks doing more back and shoulder work to open up the chest, to sort their posture out. Because a lot of them are slunched over. So with that, we'd focus on their back and shoulders, making sure they're squeezing correctly, maybe adding a few pauses in, make sure they're properly opening up, along with stretching and things like this that I would give them or advise them to do anyway. And then as soon as their posture's a lot better, we then start adding in different parts of the chest, if that makes sense, to balance everything out. But with all my clients, we work full body, and then it's just with what I've learned from sports massages, posture, where the origin and insertion is, to focus on the actual muscle working properly. And then obviously if anyone's got an injury, so I've had 2 clients that have had a serious back problem, lower back problem. One of them had it for 2 years. Within a month that got fixed. And one of them had it for 6 years for several reasons. And after 6? I think it was 6 months. It took a long time. It was a very slow process. She couldn't do a deadlift, she couldn't do a pull down. But after 5 to 6 months, we managed to fix that. She had no lower back pain whatsoever. Took time. It was a very slow process. Just seeing me once a week, but seeing me once a week, and then me adding in a sports massage once a month, free, just to help my client out. Like I said, 6 months later, she's back pain free. She can walk. She can now deadlift properly, squat properly, and there's just no pain on her body whatsoever. So I would definitely say sports massage comes into a hell of a lot. Whether you want to do sports massaging daily and actually massaging people, or if it's literally just to apply it to personal training, I would highly recommend it. You learn a hell of a lot. Yeah,
brilliant mate, thank you. Cool. So one last thing on that, to kind of elaborate on that point, let me give you an example. If you had a client who wanted to do like an hour PT session with you, and all of a sudden received, let's say you got a lower back injury, as you suddenly got a massive pain in the lower back, with your level 3 sports massage course, would you be able to go over to him and kind of adapt your session and maybe sit him down and be able to, sort that out, if that makes sense?
Yes, it hasn't happened a lot of times, but there's been times where I've had a client come in before the session, or because I work in the gym, I saw them yesterday, they come in the next day, they're like, Luke, for some reason my lower back's hurting, or part of this is hurting. I will then have a little look. If I have a room there, I can then obviously ask them to take that layer off, so I can then focus on it and maybe give them a light massage into it. Some people don't have that access, so it's literally just lying them down on the floor, finding where the problem is, maybe feeling it. You got to sort of go in a deep zone. You've got to be gentle with your hands, fingers. You've got to find that spot, see how it feels compared to the other side, and then from that you've got to use your knowledge to focus on whether, if it's lower back, most of the time it's strengthening glutes. That is most of the time it's just strengthening the glutes. It could be strengthening core work, but with that, if this in the middle of a session and my client's like, Luke, my lower back's hurting, and then they've got deadlifts next, I'm not going to be getting them to do deadlifts. We'll mix it up. We then maybe actually go on to a seated hamstring curl, focus on the hamstrings and an isolation movement. Due to what you know from the sports massage course, if someone's got lower back pain, I'm not then going to ask them to continue doing that. We will then change it up somehow or another to be able to still get the perfect workload. It's just maybe changing the exercise so it's safer and more comfortable and more stabilized for that person. So we then like I said, so a deadlift's a great example. If someone's got, they're like, my lower back's hurting after squatting and maybe pull-ups, and then I've got deadlift next. All right, let's miss out the deadlift, change that for a lying hamstring curl, just a seated hamstring curl. So you're still focusing on the same muscle. It's just you found a different exercise for that makes the lower back out of the picture, if that makes sense.
Cool. Good stuff, mate. Cool. We'll just touch on one more thing. We spoke a little bit about it earlier, the compound lifts.
Yes.
So yeah, we spoke about the first thing you're going to do when you step in that gym. But what would you say is your favourite compound lift as a starter? It's a good, interesting question, this one.
That's put me on the spot. That has.
Yeah.
Due to football, it's got to be something to do with lower body. My strongest compound movement, I would have to say, is hip thrusters, due to my hip development power on glutes. The one that I enjoy the most, though, would have to be deadlifts.
I thought you were going to say that. I had a feeling.
Have to be deadlifts.
Yeah.
It's just something about a deadlift. It's just something about it. You've got to have so much. You've got to literally be in that zone to just lift it. Whether that's that 1 rep max or the 3 sets of 5, or if you're going 7 sets of 7 or 5 sets of 4, whatever it is. Yeah. You've just got to be in a zone for that, and that zone has to take everything in your body to lift. I love
the build up towards deadlifts. You know, just the feeling, just the kind of like getting involved, thinking, right, I've got deadlifts today. It's the best feeling, isn't it?
It literally is. For me, every session is, because I base my whole workout around full body towards, that helps me with football. Yeah. So every session for me is pretty much deadlifts, but I mix it up. Sometimes, most of the time, it's either a trap bar deadlift, conventional deadlift, or a single leg deadlift, focus on single leg stability and single leg strength. But yeah, like I said, my strongest compound movement I would have to say is hip thrusters for glute and hip development. Most funnest though, deadlift. I enjoy pull-ups only when I'm lean. I feel see, that's the thing. So with lower body, deadlifts is the fun. Upper body, pull-ups. When you feel lean and shredded and you feel so strong, and you just put on a belt and you rack up maybe 15, 20 extra kg plus your weight. So me and you, we're probably weighing the same. Like, you're probably talking of 85, 95 kg, depending how we're feeling, our mood, and what's going on with our body. That's heavy enough as it is, but then to add on an additional 10, 15, 20 kg for 1, 3, 5, 7 reps, and you actually manage to do it with good form and not just banging it out, actually controlled. Maybe not the whole 4 seconds down, proper tempo based, but if you can actually properly get all the way up and maybe a 2 second down with 3 seconds down, there's something about that just makes you feel like an absolute animal.
Yeah, best feeling. We'll just do one more question. Okay, so as we're talking about, I was going to follow on from your favourite, so deadlifts. Any tips for any viewers watching this? So what would you say is the best way of approaching deadlifts if you've never done it before, and just things like that?
First thing is figure out the correct positioning for yourself for deadlifts. This may take you a while with the feet positioning. So some of us will have wider hips, longer femur, longer tibias, things like this. Maybe our foot positioning, our knee positioning is different from the way we stand and are on a day-to-day basis. So with this, the first thing is definitely find out and figure out your positioning. As soon as you've done that and you know your positioning and you're starting to slowly increase the weight, that's the number one thing, is never ever go into a deadlift if you don't know how to do it too heavy. Start off light, start off with just a bar. Start off with just a bar, with a little bit of weight, focus on the form. As soon as you've got the form, you know what deadlift is right for you and how you can do it properly. You've got a nice tight back, your core's tight, your lower body's working a lot. The perfect tips next will be to drive the feet through the floor, push the feet away from each other for a better balancing to activate the lower body. So just literally driving the feet through the floor, push the feet away from each other as much as you and as hard as you possibly can. So they still stay on the floor, it's just you're pushing the weight on the outside. Along with this, the knees are allowed to go out. Keep the bum squeezed before you lift. A nice deep breath in as you grip the bar. Drive everything through the floor, lean back into the heels, chest up, shoulders down to the back, and the back's nice and tight. You've taken a deep breath in so the core's tight. Drive through the floor and just lift the bar. As soon as the bar gets to your knees, that's when you then sort of go into hip thruster mode, glute bridge mode, drive the glutes into that bar, into that neutral position. That is probably the best tips that I've been taught and figured out and learned from, like I said, the seminars I've been on, the books I've read, of really how to maximize the most out of the muscles, the muscle fibers, getting them all activated with perfect form, really lift as heavy as you possibly can. But apart from that, just be as safe as possible. Literally, that is the number one thing. If you don't do a deadlift safe, for whatever reason, like I said, you don't know what type of deadlift to do for yourself with posture, or your back's not tight, your core's not tight, your legs aren't working enough, you will get injured either in your upper back, your lower back, etc, basically.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Okay, we'll finish the podcast there. Thank you for coming on. That was a really good chat.
No problem.
So next week, I've got a couple people in mind who are going to be coming on. One of them is a goalkeeper coach, but also, I mean, I think you are interested in doing a second one at some point. Am I right?
Definitely probably more based on actual compounds.
Yes, I was going to say that. It would be good to kind of elaborate more on what we've just spoken about in compounds. Maybe talk a bit more about deadlifts, but then also, you know, the other stuff like squats and everything.
Yeah, so squats, push-ups, everything like that, all good to me. Yeah,
awesome. Okay, mate. Like I said, thank you for coming on.
No.
Like and subscribe to the video. Go follow Luke. What's your Instagram?
Luke.Lindsay.
There you go. Also your Facebook as well for your fitness.
Literally Fresco Fitness.
Awesome. Nice one, mate. All right. So I'll finish it there. I look forward to seeing you all next week.